Okay, the box for my Origami Paddler Kickstarter has arrived, so let's open this thing up. So the rear segment has a certificate of origin, zip tied, this little bungee cord. These bungee cords here were used for holding it shut. It has the fins that you can pop down, looks like a serial number. So in the accessory bag, I got a sticker, a coupon for 10% off at the store, a sticker that is a vessel identification sticker. If you use a waterproof marker, supposedly this sticker will not melt in the water. There's a warranty return card with your whole identification number. There's a timeline of how this thing worked. You can see they have 4 different colors. I have the citrine yellow. There's a manufacturer's USA certificate of origin with the whole number, just in case you're required to register a stand-up paddleboard in your locality. There's a manual that includes information about how to open it and close it and store it and use it. Also, I've learned that in certain states you have to stop at any watercraft inspection stations if you're carrying a watercraft. And there is looks like a Torx specialized screwdriver that would allow you to remove the hinge sections from the plastic sections of the hull. I don't believe you're going to need to do that unless you need to replace a hinge. The center segment has an instruction card. Looks like it's plastic laminated waterproof, so you can keep it with the thing. The tops of the paddle looks like the parts that snap together for the paddle. And the fold-out seat. And I got the carrying strap and some other strap, maybe it's an ankle strap, with a piece of foam to sit on. And the front part has what looks like places to put your feet, depending on how tall you are. It also has these hinges with the hinge pins here. Okay, we have the paddle. See if I can figure it out without looking at the manual. Looks like they have a standard spring clip attachment point here. There's 2 or 3 different angles you can set this at. That's probably going to be a matter of are you kayaking with it or are you stand-up paddleboarding with it. Alright, so that goes on one end. There's a piece of foam inside here. I'm going to assume the foam is supposed to stay inside because it wasn't far enough out to pull on and there was no handle to pull it out, so put the foam inside. So now we have this guy here. They're about the same angle, so I'm assuming that would be for kayaking use. And then you can twist the angle to different settings. And my understanding is if you do stand-up paddleboard, you're supposed to kind of put one hand on the top of this thing and use it as a handle. So it's, not a full handle, but it'd get the job done. So that's the collapsible paddle. All right, the seat just sits there, and these clips go through those loops like so. And of course you can adjust using these straps here the amount of seat you want. Of course, with the folding kayak, the probably most important part is how to keep this part from folding on you when you don't want it to. So they have these pins and they're shipped with these elastic cords over the end of them quite tightly. So you might need a tool to get that out and over the top, because my fingers are not strong enough to get through, so they have them through a hole inside there. And then you can slip this thing out. I think in normal usage, you're just kind of supposed to, you know, slip them in like that. Because I can't imagine getting that back iron without some type of tool to go through that hole and slip them in. I think that's for shipping only. So basically you take this guy and you have to push it all the way through and through the bottom as well. And farther through the bottom. Let's see if I can get it. Because this has to be all the way to the bottom. It's not yet. Isn't quite closing all the way on the back here, on the bottom part. So I'm going to move to the other side. Right, on the other side, these holes also look like they're not quite all the way through on the bottom. So I'm going to put this guy in. Goes through the top just fine. I'm going to lift a bit. Oh, there we go. I heard a nice big ka-thunk. That one is in all the way. Switch back to the rear side. Lift a bit. Obviously, if this was in the water, it might work a little better. Well, I'm still having trouble getting that particular hole in. I can see light all the way through. I'm putting a lot of pressure on that. Wait, is it in now? There we go. Alright, so maybe my angle was off, but those two are in just fine. You can lift this whole back piece, and they feel very locked together. Alright, let's try the front two hinges. That was much easier than the rear. That was also much easier than the rear. So I can lift up from the front, the whole thing stays together. I'm going to just demonstrate here. Lifting this from the rear, you know, it's obviously supporting its own weight. There's not much wiggle. Each of the three hole compartments has a drain plug that you'll definitely want to make sure is fully inserted. They're all on the same side here, and the middle and the back are next to each other. Alright, so this guy is obviously a leash. I'm assuming I would just attach it to one of these mounting points on the back of the thing. This guy is the carry handle, and I could not find any instructions on where to attach these loops to. I saw one video online of a pre-production prototype where they attached them kind of to these two hinge areas, but I don't know the exact best way of doing that, so I'm not going to actually attach that. Now I'm going to try and fold this thing back up together and make everything fit. The manual recommends against using this hole as a handle. They say it puts undue stress on the hinges. Instead, they recommend using these two straps that hold the seat down as your handle. You may have also purchased the wheeled rolling assembly or the shoulder strap handle, which I'm assuming you hook to these hinges in some way. Alright, that concludes the unboxing video. Next up, I need to take it to the lake and try it out. Including the shipping box, 57 pounds.